So what is music composition? Well, I'll not go too philosophical on this, but in simple terms, a music composition is a piece of music which is brought together by building various structures of chords and melodies based around diatonic and chromatic scales. Diatonic and chromatic? I know, new words, but let me explain. Diatonic means in the same key. So chords, melodies, notes played in the same key are called diatonic in nature. While on the other hand, if you have at least one note which is out of the key that you're playing in, it's called chromatic in nature. And then there is a vast explanation on how chromatic scales can be played using different modes. So there are 7 modes in musical theory, which are Ionian, Dorian, Lydian, Phrygian, Mixolydian, Locrian, and Aeolian. So Ionian and Aeolian are some things that you know as major and minor scales. The rest of the nodes are pretty complex and I'll cover that in a separate video. But let's first start with the basics. Alright guys, so here we are back again with Logic and the piano. So I'm gonna be composing something right in front of you and you'll see the process on how I approach this and what's the best way, not exactly the best way, but most creative way to go about composing your first track. So let's start off with the basics, and as you can know that we have 12 notes. We have C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and then back to C. So these are the 12 notes and this completes an octave. Now I have a 71 key piano and so I have close to about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 octave range of the whole piano. But we have keyboards which come for 49 keys and 61 keys as well, but it depends on the keyboard to keyboard, but it totally has the same set of notes. So I'm pretty sure that you must be knowing these basics. Alright, so let's just first start playing something. Let's pick a key, E minor, and the notes in E minor are E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, and then back to E. So if I have to play something just like that and I have like a droning a rhythmic pattern on the E and I'm just playing the power chords, the E5, so I might go back to a B, but let's figure this out. So I'm just playing the A5 now, and then going back to G, D, and then back to E. So now I'm figuring out, okay, my melody is something like that, and then it sounds good to go to an A, not the B, because it's gonna go as a little higher. So if I go to E and then A major, so essentially if you see, the C sharp doesn't come in the E minor scale. Now if I'm playing the chords E minor and then A major, I'm getting the C sharp also, but that note does not come in the E minor scale. So hence this is chromatic in nature. So I'm playing a chromatic scale. So I have the C sharp as well. So it has an ethereal feel. So if I go and play like the initial melody, So 4x4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and change the chords. But now I am getting too monotonous, too mundane, because I'm playing the same key, same chords over and over again, the E minor and the A major. But now I need to shift it to a G major, D, and then go back to E minor. So if you see that now we have created some kind of a composition in the key of E minor, but we have a chromatic scale in nature. Now this is a melodic minor, and I'll cover these in a different video where I'll explain all about modes and melodic minor, harmonic minor, and natural minor. We'll cover that in a separate video. But as of now, the basics of composition is that if we stick to a key, but if we are gonna stick to, let's say, E minor, and if we want to shift to A, so in that case I'll have to play an A minor. So it might sound like this. So somehow if you are just composing, there might be times when you hit a key and you feel, okay, that key does not belong, even though you're playing in the same key. So let's play that back again. Sorry. This is a part of composition. So something of that sort, and you start playing around with chords. Now there are various chord progression in the same key. If you use the same key, there are various triads like I explained in my previous video, and I'll leave the link again in the I box above. You can see that you can create triads from a single key scale, and if you jumble up those chords together in, let's say, 4x4 or 3x4 if you are really adventurous, or 5x4 or odd timings, but let's start off with 4x4 for your first song, and you play every fourth bar, then you'll get some sort of a composition. In this case, I'm playing the E minor for 8 bars and then going to A major, then G for 4 bars, and then it's a little transition, and then going back to E. So as you can hear, while I am playing the D, it feels that it has a tension and it needs to resolve into the root key, which is the E minor. So if I go D major, naturally you would feel that it will go to E minor instead of going from D. And if you want to change another chords, you cannot resolve it to A, because then the story is still flowing. So you need to resolve that story and go back to the beginning. So hence you go from D to E minor. And this will come in handy if you see that the root key is E minor. So always a resolving chord, if you want to go back to E minor, would be one semitone down. So if I go from E to D, so D is one semitone down, and hence to resolve back to E minor, you would definitely naturally play a D major to go back to E minor. Likewise, if I just shift the key, and if I'm playing and I hit a wrong key just like I did earlier, and if I'm playing like Okay, I think I'm in an F sharp. It can be F sharp minor, F sharp major. So let's say if I go to an F sharp and now I'm in a happy state of mind, and if I play something, so I'm just playing two chords, which is the F sharp major and the B major. So now I'm in the major scale and I'm just playing all of the notes. So a good way to start and a good way to look at it is that if you have chosen a key and if you're playing, let's say you pick up two chords every fourth bar, you play the notes, the exact notes in the same scale, and you'll find the melody. So I'm sticking to F major, F sharp major, sorry. And I'm playing the notes inside of that same key. So something of that sort. But this is the basics of how I also compose my music. And I start off with finding the right key and then just playing some random notes here and there inside of the same key, and sometime or the other, just like the E minor, I hit a key which is like the C sharp and I feel okay, this is in melodic minor and I am playing a chromatic scale, so let me just play that again and it feels nice. So something of that sort. So go ahead and experiment as much as you can with one single key. So choose the key of your liking, and if you want to choose the simplest key, that is the C major scale, so you'll have C, D, E, F, G, A, B and then C, so all the white keys. So it becomes pretty easy to compose, to start off with the C, and then you can practice and go to a complex modes, complex chromatic scales. But start off with composing with two chords. Choose any two chords in the same key and then play all of the same notes in that same key and find out a melody. Soon enough, while you're playing the melody, you will feel that you want to shift to a different chord, and you'll figure out that chord basis the triads in the major and the minor scale. So go ahead and experiment as much as you can, and let me know in the comments down below if this helped you. Okie dokie guys, that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments down below if you did. It's always good to hear thoughts and comments. Or if you have any suggestions to do some beginner tutorials like these, let me know in the comments down below and I'll be happy to do that. As always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you like what I do here and want to see much more videos like this, support the channel by subscribing. It goes a long way. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, cheers.